crisp autumn air painted Bentonville, Arkansas, idyllic, but a darkness lurked. John and Mary Miller, the town's golden couple, vanished. Their laughter silenced. Their home a crime scene. What horrific truth lay hidden beneath Bentonville's picture-perfect facade? John, a pillar of the local school, was known for his gentle nature and ability to spark a love of learning in even the most reluctant student. Mary, a beacon of care at the town's hospital, soothed anxieties and brought smiles to countless faces. Their modest home, once a haven of warmth and laughter, now stood eerily silent, a crime scene choked by a suffocating quiet. Detectives David Carter and Sarah Jones, partners forged in the crucible of countless investigations, arrived at the Millers' residence with a sinking dread. Years of experience had inured them to certain realities, but nothing could prepare them for the raw pain etched on the faces of loved ones or the chilling emptiness that hung heavy in the air. John and Mary weren't just victims. They were a reflection of Bentonville itself. Their quiet happiness, their dedication to their community, their deaths were an assault on the very soul of the town. The detectives set to work, their movements precise and practiced. Each step, each recorded observation, was a piece of the puzzle they desperately needed to solve. Days bled into weeks, the pressure mounting with every unanswered question. The townspeople, once a picture of Midwestern hospitality, retreated behind locked doors, fear etching lines onto familiar faces. Neighborhood gatherings that once echoed with laughter were replaced by hushed whispers and worried glances. John and Mary weren't just gone. Their absence ripped a hole in the fabric of Bentonville, leaving a raw wound exposed. The investigation became an all-consuming pursuit of the truth. Carter and Jones meticulously interviewed anyone even remotely connected to the Millers. They scoured John's classroom, searching for anything that might point to a hidden enemy. They interviewed patients Mary had treated, hoping for a disgruntled soul with a twisted motive. But the trail remained frustratingly cold. One name kept surfacing: Billy Jones. A drifter with a past as murky as the local creek after a heavy rain. Billy had been seen lurking around the Millers' house on more than one occasion. His shifty eyes and nervous demeanor sent shivers down spines even from a distance. When questioned, his story unraveled faster than a cheap sweater. Dates shifted, alibis crumbled, and a web of lies became increasingly apparent. The detectives felt a flicker of hope, but hope tempered with caution. Intuition was one thing, concrete evidence another. That's when the meticulous work at the crime scene began to pay off. A single hair, a barely visible fingerprint, each a tiny shard of truth waiting to be pieced together. Forensic technicians worked tirelessly, their dedication a silent testament to the gravity of the situation. The evidence slowly coalesced, forming a damning picture. Trace elements on Billy's clothes matched a unique cleaning solution used by Mary at the hospital. The single hair found at the crime scene was a perfect match to Billy's DNA. The fingerprint, a careless mistake on his part, was the final nail in the coffin of his flimsy alibi. The trial that followed was a battleground for truth. The prosecution, led by a steely-eyed attorney named Ms. Thompson, painted a chilling picture of Billy's movements leading up to the murders. Every inconsistency, every lie he'd told, was laid bare in front of the jury. Billy's defense, a desperate attempt to cast blame on a shadowy figure who conveniently never materialized, crumbled under the weight of the evidence. The courtroom buzzed with nervous energy. John and Mary's families sat in the front row, their faces etched with a mixture of grief and a desperate yearning for justice. When the verdict came, guilty on all counts, a collective sigh of relief swept through the room. It wasn't closure, not entirely, but it was a step towards healing, a validation of the lives tragically cut short. But the story doesn't end with the slam of the gavel. The scars left by violence run deep. Detective Carter, a man of few words who carried the weight of countless investigations on his broad shoulders, confided in Sarah one quiet evening. "You carry these stories with you," he said, his voice gruff with emotion. "A part of you is forever changed." He looked out the window, the setting sun casting long shadows across the town. "You see the world a little differently after something like this." Sarah, ever the pragmatist, squeezed his shoulder. "We do what we have to do," she said. Her voice firm. The verdict brought a semblance of justice, but Bentonville was forever changed. The vibrant tapestry of the community had a dark stain woven into its fabric. John and Mary's absence still echoed in the hallways of the school and the sterile corridors of the hospital. Their friends, forever grappling with the loss, held annual picnics in their memory, laughter tinged with a bittersweet ache. Life, however, has a stubborn resilience. Slowly, tentatively, Bentonville began to heal. The fear that had gripped the town loosened its icy grip. Neighborhood gatherings resumed, the sound of children's laughter once again piercing the quiet. John's replacement at school, a young woman named Emily, brought a fresh energy to the classroom, her passion for learning echoing John's own. At the hospital, Mary's colleagues established a scholarship in her name, ensuring her legacy of care would continue to touch future generations of nurses. The trial, a media frenzy, had thrust Bentonville into the national spotlight. Reporters descended upon the town, their cameras capturing the stoicism of the townspeople and the quiet desperation of the families. Yet, amidst the chaos, a sense of solidarity emerged. Local businesses banded together, offering discounts and free meals to first responders and families directly impacted by the tragedy. The community center became a gathering place, offering grief counseling and a space for shared memories. 1 year after the murders, a documentary titled Bentonville, A Town Remembers, aired on national television. Narrated by a weathered local journalist, it chronicled the events from the discovery of the bodies to the trial's conclusion. It painted a poignant portrait of a community grappling with loss, showcasing the resilience of the human spirit in the face of tragedy. The documentary resonated with viewers across the country, a stark reminder that even the most idyllic towns are not immune to darkness. But the story doesn't end on a stage bathed in television lights. Years later, a young reporter named Jessica, fueled by the documentary, traveled to Bentonville to write a follow-up piece. She interviewed Detective Carter, now retired and tending a small vegetable garden in his backyard. The years had etched lines on his face, but his eyes still held the glint of a man who had seen the worst humanity had to offer and still clung to hope. Carter spoke of the case with a quiet sadness, the details etched into his memory. He shared stories of John and Mary, gleaned from interviews and personal accounts, painting a picture of a life well-lived and tragically cut short. He also spoke of the ripple effect of such crimes, the unseen scars it left on those who had to investigate and prosecute. Jessica also met Emily, John's replacement at the school. Now a seasoned teacher herself, Emily spoke of the pressure of following in John's footsteps, but also the inspiration his legacy provided. She described the scholarship fund set up in Mary's name, a testament to the impact she had on the community. The final act of Jessica's story focused on Billy Jones. Lost to the anonymity of the prison system, his story remained a cautionary tale. His life, a series of wrong turns and bad choices, culminated in a tragedy that devastated a community. It served as a chilling reminder of the fragility of life and the devastating consequences of violence. Bentonville, forever marked by the murders of John and Mary Miller, emerged stronger. The community, united by grief and a shared sense of purpose, rebuilt its shattered sense of security. Their story, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, serves as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, light can prevail. It's a story that teaches us to cherish the good, to hold on to the memories of those we've lost, and to find strength in the face of adversity. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next